Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I am here to bring you my live paper crafting class. I'm a little nervous though because it looks like, oh, now I see it tuning in. At first I was like, is my live even going? I'm here, right? Confirm that I'm live with you all. I hope that you're all doing well and you're staying safe. I think the last live that I did 2 days ago, my viewers had alerted me to the news that there were some fires out of control in the LA area of California. And I had no clue because I don't watch the news. I find that I get too emotionally upset when I watch the news. And so right after the live happened, I've been glued to the TV. It's really heartbreaking. Okay, anyways, we're gonna have fun today. And yeah, stay safe, everyone. It is Friday, January 10th at 10 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live, and I'm going to share with you some fun paper crafting projects, things that I have created with the December 2024 Notes from the Heart Paper Pumpkin Kit from Stampin' Up! I am in love with paper pumpkin kits. I have been since the beginning. In March of 2013, they began, and I have been creating alternate projects with them ever since. So on that note, it looks like we're live both on Facebook and on YouTube. I can see comments coming in on both fronts there, so that's good. I want to welcome all of you, especially new people. I hope that you stay tuned in. Sorry about the tears in the beginning. I'm an emotional person. I also want to give a big shout out to all of you who continue to come back to my lives. Thank you so much for blessing my world with your presence. I appreciate you. We have two moderators today. We have both Lisa Marshall on Facebook and Trisha Josephs on YouTube. They are here to answer, I'm gonna grab a Kleenex, answer questions and guide you in the right direction. So if you have questions that I am not seeing during the live, please just continue to ask them. One of us will catch them. And you can always put things in capital letters if you're finding that somebody's not seeing what you're writing. Okay, so, and if you're on YouTube, you want to be logged into your Google or your YouTube account so that you can participate in the live chat. On Facebook, you should be able to do so no matter what, as long as you're logged into Facebook, you can participate. So I hope that all of you are doing well. Let's see here. What do I want to talk about before we get started? Oh, my blog post, which is connected to this live video, already went live at 8 a.m. this morning, so 2 hours ago, because I'm participating in what's called a blog hop. So if you are familiar with the way blogs work, we post on a website, which we call a blog because we write in it frequently, and we connected them. So if you go to my blog post, which is there's a link in the YouTube description right now that will transfer over to Facebook after the live is done. But if you click on that link, you will be able to scroll down and see what I've shared, and then also click on the links to other blogs where we're also sharing similar projects, or not similar projects, but projects that we've created with the same kit. Here is my website if you'd like to go there directly right now, stampyourartout.com, and then just click blog, or somewhere in there you'll be able to see where the blog is because you'll land on the homepage first. Okay, if you are not a Paper Pumpkin Kit subscriber, hopefully this brings you the thought of giving it a try. It's really fun to get these kits mailed to your house each and every month. And you can either buy a whole bunch of kits at once called a prepaid and enter a code, and then the website that you enter that code into just generates automatically for it to ship to you in the months that you want them. You can cancel, you can suspend, which means taking a month off. You are in control of your Paper Pumpkin subscription. You don't even have to commit to like subscribing for more than a month. You can just give it a go, and if you don't like it, you can just cancel your account. So it's really forgiving and it's really flexible, and it's fun because we get to create each month with something unique. Now, you can take the instructions, so let's dive down to the desktop right now. You can take the instructions that are given to you in the flyer that comes with each Paper Pumpkin Kit, and you can follow them directly to make the beauteous projects that are shown on the cover of that flyer. So this kit, obviously the December 2024 kit, Notes from the Heart, it creates 9 cards, 3 of 3 different kinds. You get envelopes with it so you can mail your cards, package them up. The next kit is shipping tomorrow. Well, it'll process tomorrow and then it'll start shipping. So if you want to try out Paper Pumpkin, there is a link for subscribing in the description of my video. Also on my website, you can find all that information. But that January 2025 kit will start processing tomorrow. You have to be subscribed or activate or have an active subscription by the end of the day today in order to get it. All right, so I have some leftover goodies in here, but I've already pulled everything aside except for my stamp set. So I'm gonna pull that out of the box and we're gonna get to creating. I don't think I mentioned this. I don't create the kits as instructed. I think I only did that with maybe 1 or 2 kits, and maybe in the beginning I would like produce samples, but then I was like, I'm using up my samples and I want to create more alternates. So I create alternates. I create different things than what you see with the instructions. So we're going to take some supplies here, and I'm just going to pull this out first. This is a gift that I sent to some of my very active subscribers, and I sent this to them about a month ago. It included some embellishments. It included a sample little cardstock sheet. It included some vellum. I think I just gave 1 vellum, and then some ribbon. And so we're going to play around with some of those things so that my subscribers and those of you that want to purchase those extra supplies I just shared can get in on creating with what I sent you. Okay, so we're going to start with an envelope from the kit. This is the envelope that you get. And what I did already is I cut it down. So I trimmed off the edges, and then I opened it up, and then I cut this piece here to 4 inches high. So we have a 4-inch high piece, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take and cut that down to 3 inches. This cardstock here is going to be good for some other stuff, so don't get rid of it completely. And then for these pieces here, plus I'm going to use some more, like I'm going to use a supporting piece, which you could get from the kit. You could use like a white layer instead of bringing in some extra Mossy Meadow cardstock. But I have extra supplies, so I've got some Mossy Meadow cardstock. I've also got a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 6 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And this is why I wanted to mention that you might want to have some Mossy Meadow. It's a coordinating color of the kit. And for the pocket page layout that I'm going to share with you, it's a pocket page patterned layout. So you don't necessarily have to have pocket scrapbook pages to do it. You don't have to necessarily even be a scrapbooker to do this project, because I'm going to show you how to turn these elements into cards too. So, and yes, I saw some posts by some other people. The refills are still available for this kit. You have to have an active subscription though in order to purchase refills and the dies that coordinate, that sort of thing. So if you go to my website, stampyourartout.com, you click on the shop button and then find Paper Pumpkin in the listing of things in the menu for shopping, you can see refills and dies and add-ons, that sort of thing. You'll find that in there. You can also find the link to it in the description of my video, but you'll find it there, but you have to activate a subscription in order to purchase those things. So here we have our 4x6 cardstock, our 4x3 cardstock, and another 4x3 or 3x4 cardstock. These are going to be the base pieces for what we're going to build on. I'm going to take this piece and layer it onto here. I'm going to use a card base from the kit, and we're going to cut it. Let's see here. We're going to cut it at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to cut it approximately at 3 inches here. So I'm cutting between the notches. And then I'm just going to check here to make sure I'm doing this right. And then I'm going to cut again at 1, 2. I think I have 2 little scallops on the other side. So yes, I'm using my card base as layers. All right, so we have those pieces ready. Then we have the ribbon from my little stash that I gave to my subscribers. It doesn't have to be super long, but long enough to actually reach. So you want 6 inches of that. And then we want to have this fern piece from the kit. We want to have some of those pretty brushed brass butterflies from the kit. And we're going to take some vellum now. So the vellum we no longer sell in the Stampin' Up! Online store, but I found some equivalent weight kind of feel in Amazon. And so you can find some vellum in my favorite extras. So if you go to my website at stampyourartout.com, click on shop, go to favorite extras, you will be able to see the extra things that I share, like vellum, Post-it notes, glue holders, magnets, things like that. Okay, so here's our vellum piece that I sent my subscribers. I cut a couple pieces of fern using the coordinating dies that are made for this kit and the November and the October kits. So I use this one here to die cut some vellum. You can also, if you don't have vellum on hand, you can access a good little section of it down here. You get 2 sheets of this. So you could, from your scraps of your kit, use that vellum, okay? How do you subscribe to me, Margaret? Thank you. You will go to my website at stampyourartout.com, click on Paper Pumpkin, and it will say, I believe, join. Let me go there right now so we can take a peek at that. Let's pull that up real quick because I'm talking about all this stuff. Okay, so on my website at stampyourartout.com, just click on Paper Pumpkin and sign up. That's how you can get to that, okay? All right, so we've got our vellum on hand and we've already cut that. I'm also gonna bring in a little bit more ribbon because I wanna make just a tiny little knot with like a faux bow with a knot. So I'll grab my snips here and we're gonna cut that at an angle just so we have a fun little element to add on to our card. We're gonna emboss this, plus we're gonna emboss another layer. So remember this piece that we cut off here from the envelope? We're gonna emboss that too, actually. When we could have embossed it together, sorry, we already cut it into pieces. But I'm gonna bring in my machine real quick. And we're gonna zoom out oh, actually that's not too bad. Okay, so we're gonna put the base plate or the baseboard down, bring in the gray one. So we just need number 1 and the gray board, which is number 4. And this is for using with 3D embossing folders. So we have the Fern 3D embossing folder right here. It coordinates so well with this kit, you guys. It's like unbelievable. Then you just place these pieces within, fold this down on top of it, place it seam first, put this on top, sandwich it all, crank it through. And you don't necessarily have to use like sandpaper or anything. You can grab from your stash of beauty supplies, if you have some. You can grab nail files or buffers. Buffers are even better. And I have a link to buffers in my favorite extras too, because I find that they are great. If you don't have a sanding block, a lot of people have sanding blocks if they're paper crafters for two-tone type of paper or paper that has a white core. In our Paper Pumpkin kits, the colored cardstock or colored paper that you see is actually dyed on both sides. So the inside is lighter. It's not necessarily white, but it's lighter. So then you can just go across and you can highlight and make those ferns stand out really well by just roughing up the top. Do you see this? How they're now coming out and they're showing up a lot more. So you would do that to your 2 layers. After you've done that to the skinnier layer, you're gonna tear. And you're gonna tear wherever you want to. You can see it's not a completely white core here, and that actually I'll probably have to smooth that out, but it's kind of a lighter green, but it still is showing up when you sand. Okay, now I'm gonna take this layer and I'm gonna show you how I add it. I'm not completely walking through every one of these projects. I'm just showing you some of the initial steps, and then I'm gonna show you the finished, okay? So with this piece here, because it's so jagged, this is one of our really cool new ribbons. This is called, and I'm going to pull that up on my website because I have my blog sitting right here in front of me, my blog post, so I can make sure I tell you the right products. This is our gold open weave trim, it's called. So you're going to take this and you're just going to lay it across, and I think I did it through the middle. Flip this upside down. You can either use the tape that comes in the kit, or you can use whatever adhesive you have on hand that's kind of a dry tape. Okay, not a glue. It'll be a little bit messier to work with because there's holes in this ribbon. And then you'll just put this adhesive across here to help hold it down in place. This then gets added to that layer so that you don't see all of that and you don't feel the stickies. So you add it onto a supporting layer. And then we're going to take pieces from the kit, and I think I have to grab one from here. So I just stamped onto one of the labels and added that down. And because we have the holes through that open weave, you see that, how it's not sticking down completely? Your dimensionals are going to hold it flat. Let's take a couple dimensionals from the kit. And we will actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to stamp on this first. So let's grab our equivalent of the ink that comes in that kit. You get a tiny little ink pad, but I'm using the larger one here. And we'll use our happy birthday stamp. Lay it down on your table so that it relaxes, especially if you have long or big stamps. You want to make sure that your stamp relaxes before you grab it with a block. So we'll ink that up and we'll stamp it onto our label piece, which I did not do straight. And then we peel the back sides off of those dimensionals, the release paper, and then we add it onto our card here, our card layer, our scrapbooking layer. So now you can see the paper does not pull away, or the ribbon does not pull away from the paper because that adhesive goes through the holes of that open weave trim. So then this, of course, again gets added onto this piece. For this one here, we would use that torn paper, which you want to tear a little bit better. We use the vellum leaves, one tucked underneath and one on top, and we add a little glue dot. Now, how do you add vellum to the top of something without the adhesive showing through? Let's just do this. You're going to take and put the ribbon onto your fern piece first. So let's add this. Let's take and tuck that behind as we stick it down. And I'm going to show a little bit of purple from the Blackberry Bliss on the left edge there. So then the glue dot gets added to this first, like this. You stick it down onto your fern, and then you know exactly where you can add further glue dots. We can add some here, behind the little ribbon that sticks out. We can add some over here, behind this side. So you can hide your glue dots because vellum will show what you've got underneath, okay? So then you can tack that into place like that. We have that piece done. And then for this layer here, you're going to hide your cut. So you see how we have two pieces here? I wanted a full rectangle piece. And so I'm gonna lay this down first, and I believe I had the vanilla and white up and the all white down. You can see there's a difference. So the card layer in the kit actually isn't completely white. On one side it has little bits of kind of a pale yellow or a vanilla in there, and then on the flip side you have your white. So we're going to add it so that we have a little bit of that golden sunshine color, sticking that down. We'll do the same thing with this, add it straight down with adhesive. And if I want to, actually what I should have done is connected these. Let's do that. Let's connect these. Let's connect them with a shared scallop. I think that's what I did on my other one. Yes, that's exactly what I did on my other one. Okay, we have a shared scallop. That's why I cut 1 to 2 scallops so that we could do that little overlap. Now we can stick this down onto our 4x6 piece. We can grab our ribbon, and both sides are the same, believe it or not. You can run your seal adhesive, or you can use the the tape that comes in your kit, and do a strip of that. But either way, you want to hold it nice and straight and put it right on and above that line where the seam is. Okay? It is kind of a see-through ribbon a little bit, but you do not feel the stickies. All right? Just so that you know that. Then you take and turn this over and trim. Now you could tuck it like we did with the other one, except then you'd want to have another layer behind it, because in pocket scrapbooking, you see both sides. You see both sides of the pieces that you tuck into the pockets of your page protector. So later on, I could take and decorate this side, or I could, you know, insert another piece and then my flapped over ribbon would get covered. But what I want is just plain back sides, so that I have the choice of either decorating directly on them or inserting another piece behind them for the flip side when you turn the page over. So we have this almost done. Now for this piece, all I did was I tucked it a little bit and tilted it, and then put this part up with dimensional so it had a little bit of a lift and shadow, and then I put butterflies on there. So let me show you the finished layout, and then I'm going to show you how you can turn these into cards. We're going to close this because I have a feeling Rachel's going to get messy. We don't want Rachel to get messy. Okay, so here we go. This is the finished layout, and I have it on here with temporary adhesive, which is why this left. Let me zoom out so you can see it better. So pocket scrapbook page making, again, you have these page protectors with little pockets in them. Stampin' Up! Currently doesn't sell any in the 12x12 size, so I just put them together on a sheet of base cardstock. I chose soft seafoam because that is another page 12x12 layer that we're going to use on the next project. And so I just chose the same color, but you see it totally covers it up. Now, something to keep in mind is you could take and add this into a full regular 12x12 page protector, because it literally is 12x12. So it could insert like this, and what you could do is you could add photo layers onto those white areas so that you still see that white edge, or the soft seafoam edge, whatever you want to do there, right? But you are creating kind of a frame that way by having them slightly smaller than 6x4 or 4x3. I love it. Lisa goes, who else is a messy crafter? Yep, there's a bunch of us. So after you've done that page, you have room for a close to 4x6, 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 3x4, and 3x4 photo on this layout. I used the photo mats that we have already got pre-printed on from different kits that Stampin' Up! Sells. So ignore that, that they're sideways. Let's take these layers though, and let's lift them up and show you another thing that you can do with 4x6 and 3x4 pieces. So if you are a lover of Stampin' Up! Stuff and you kind of want to do something a little unique, pull in our Memories and More card bases and envelopes. They come in a pack of 2 different sizes. You have the card bases that will work with 4x6, and you have the card bases that will work for 3x4. This is not a mailable size, by the way. It's more of a gifting size. Just keep that in mind, at least in the US. But here, this is what you do now. You take these and you add them to those bases, and they hold this size layer perfect. Why do we have that size? Because we have people who do both scrapbooking and card making in our paper crafting world, right? And some of us like to get those Memories and More packs. The Memories and More designer card packs come in those sizes, the 4x6 and the 3x4. So here we have a card done with that size, another one, which instantly is a happy birthday card. This first one I did could be whatever. It could be, you know, thinking of you. And then we have one more that we could do with the ferns. And you can make cards instead. All right. So that is my first two sets of projects, a pocket page or pocket page pattern page, and then we have the cards. Let's move on to another project. I hope that you got fun ideas from that, tips and stuff. Again, the whole buffering with a little nail buffer, it really does great things to two-toned or kit cardstock that is colored. I'm going to bring in some more supplies. Everything is situated back there in the little staging area. So we're going to move some things away here. Okay. The next project is another page layout. And this one's going to go a little bit quicker because it only has a few elements on it. So if you're not a page maker, just bear with me because you're going to get some creative ideas from it anyways. You want to have 12x12 cardstock for this. By the way, Stampin' Up! Is expanding their line of 12x12 cardstock to include all colors of two-toned by the time the annual catalog releases in May. So keep that in mind as you are rearranging things in your crafting space. So I have my 12x12, full 12x12 soft seafoam. I've taken and cut off the edges, so 7/8 of an inch from each side of this other sheet to get a pretty and pink layer that is 11 1/8 by 11 1/8. And then I have an 11 by 11 piece here because I also did the same thing with some 12x12 Mossy Meadow. So these are my scraps, but I'm going to keep one of those pink scraps. And I'm going to stamp onto this layer now using Pretty in Pink ink, which you think isn't going to show, but it does. Because even though this color is very light, our inks are meant to coordinate. They're not meant to be the exact same depth of darkness or lightness, right? Letting our stamp relax, grabbing my block, oh, here it is, and picking it up, inking that up. So our inks are actually slightly darker, typically, than the cardstock, so that you have that tone-on-tone look. So here we have our Lots of Love. In fact, here, I'll just show you what I mean by that. So if you take and stamp directly onto this cardstock, allow it to dry, it's going to be a deeper tone, even when it's dry, than the cardstock layer. So you're going to be able to see tone on tone, okay? Now what I would do with this piece is I would take and put adhesive back there, again, either with the tape adhesive that comes in the kit. If you're a beginning crafter, this stuff is excellent. This is our tear and tape adhesive. I'll just demonstrate using it real quick here. So you take and pull it, lay it across where you want it, and literally tear it. It tears off. You've got this backing on here, this release paper that you're just going to pull off, and now you have a sticky piece of tape on there ready to go. We're going to add that really, really close to the edges on this scrap of pink, and then I'm going to use my paper snips, and I'm going to trim. And you could use a cutter if you don't trust your hands to cut straight, but I'm just making it a 1/16 of an inch smaller just to get a closer little border on the Lots of Love. So this would get added onto my page. I would also grab some page protector, or not page protectors, photo. Let me grab them. I would also grab some photo mats here. So that would go here, a 3x3 down here, and then we have like a couple, oops, oh good. Then we'd have a couple of these. Let's just lay them down in place. Okay, so we have places for 4 photos. Let me take this one. All of my photo mats I add with temporary adhesive. I use an adhesive called Hermatransfer. Hermafix, that's the old name. Hermatransfer adhesive, I think is what it's called, but it's little dots and it's non-permanent. And I do that with my photo mats, but especially with my photos that I add to my photo mats. That way I can rearrange my pages later on. My elements, I typically put down with adhesive, like regular adhesive. But then these photos, I could adjust the sizes. I could take and maybe turn these into 3 long layers, you know what I mean? So I have options for my photos later on if I use temporary adhesive with them. This you can find in my favorite extras also. Okay, so I've kind of laid out where I want things to go. I have my little areas here. And then I just come in with my elements from the kit. I've got flowers that I can tuck back here to fill in space. I've got some leaves that I can fill in space with. I can even take and trim down some of my leaves so I'm not wasting, and tuck something under here, because that's a lot of wasted if I cover up most of it, right? So basically, start working with your elements of your kit. Again, never have adhesive under your vellum that's going to be exposed, okay? Always put your adhesive behind. So, and then there's little embellishments in the kit. These fun little goodies come in there too, so that you can create just a little gemmed area on your page. Let me show you the finished page layout on here. I'm going to grab this back because I need that. And we'll put that down. Okay, so my finished page looks like this. So real sweet and simple. You could do an opposite page that has similar look to it. You could flip it and have your flowers coming out from the bottom. You could just take and have a symmetrical look where your photo mats are, you know, horizontal, vertical, and then your square. And you could just have like a symmetrical page layout over here to make a 2-page spread. But I wanted to give some scrapbooking ideas to those of you who are in love with scrapbooking. I'm not pressing this down all the way because I'm going to show you this too. That's how I added my adhesive. I made sure that it was disappearing underneath my photo mat so that nobody would see those little globs of adhesive. Then this just goes down in place, and you can see my fun little design I've got. I've got a few little embellishments up here just for shine. I've got one down here, and then I've got a row of 4, large, small, small, small. This is up on dimensionals, but the rest of it is completely flat. The dimensional just gives that title piece an extra little bit of shadow. Moving on to the next pile. My next pile includes some treat bags. So from the kit, I have pulled envelopes, the bags that your embellishments and adhesive come in, your adhesive, your I think the dimensionals came in this, and then the tape roll came in this. Again, we're using some of the embellishments that come in your kit. And then we've got some label pieces from the kit. These stickers that come with the kit, these pieces here are meant to go onto your envelopes so that you can address them and your words stand out. It's a little white sticker layer. And then we also are using some of the leaves. So besides that, I'm bringing in some gold foil, cardstock, or gold foil sheets, I guess is what it's called, and some treats. So depending on, you know, what your choices are, I do have some Werther's original treats in one bag. I have some Ghirardelli chocolates in the other. So let's give this a go. For the, I'm gonna make one of the bags, probably not all the way through, but we're gonna get far. I've taken and cut my envelope again into 2 layers by just trimming off the edges on the side and the bottom. So I have 2 layers here. This one will work for my larger of my bags, and this one will work for my smaller. So for my larger of the 2 bags, I'm gonna use a piece that is a little over 4¼ inches wide. In fact, if you just trim this here, I believe you get the perfect size. Let me just peek. Yeah, it's 4 3/8. So you have to trim it about there, which will give you a little bit of the score line from the flap of the envelope. But then you just fold it in half and you have your base piece. Then the smaller one, we're going to trim to 3 3/8. So we're cutting off these pieces, and these will fit with the bags that you have in your kit. Now, if you have other size cello bags, go ahead and cut them to different sizes, but I wanted them to be as wide as the cellophane bag and then enough to fold over to give a surface for creating a decoration. This could be even shorter. It could be, gosh, it could be that short if you want it to. The direction in this way, it does not matter as much, but you want to have at least the width of the bag so that you don't have bag sides sticking out from the top of your cello bag topper. So we're making little toppers. I'm going to trim off a little edge of this. So about maybe 1/2 inch is easy to work with. And then from this piece, I could take and use my dies, the fern dies, again, and do some pretty gold ferns with this. Okay, so now I'm going to use one of these labels. And for this label, and I'm just going to count here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. For this label, the first label, and I'm going to cut this in the middle here to give me just access to that label. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to cut so that I have 3 scallops off of this side. Okay, so I have 9 here, and then I'm going to have a 10th one coming out like that. It's going to shorten, just like we did on that page layout, that first page layout. We're just going to shorten it by overlapping it. But this time we're going to see that seam. And so to make that seam a little bit prettier, we're going to tuck in some gold foil for just a little bit of a embellishment kind of edge on there. So let's take and assemble. Looks like we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and fold this over just by hand. It's thin enough where you can do that. Thank you, Donna. All right, so after you've folded it, then you can go ahead and take this piece out off of your sticker. You can add that to your gold foil like that. And I just have a little bit on there. Now I'm going to peel this away and I'm going to trim, and I can trim at an angle over here if I want to, but I just want to make sure that the part that comes out from that last scallop is here. It's kind of hard to see there. Can you see it this way? Probably better. The part that's coming out from that last scallop is staying within the zone, okay? I just didn't want this coming off the edge there, so there we go. Then this gets stuck onto this piece here so that the scallops are layered onto each other like that. And then this whole layer can go onto the front of this piece. Ta-da! Now, I did a mistake. Already I did a mistake because Rachel forgot to do her stapling. I'm going to try to peel this up if I can. Let's see if we can do that. As I peel this up, I'm going to tell you that you need another tool. You need a stapler. Let's see if we can do it with just part of it peeled up. Because the whole thing, it's going to start ripping if I do it. Okay, you're going to take your bag. You're going to fill it with your treats. You're going to fill it with your treats. You're going to insert your bag into the folded base. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it without that. Okay, let's just demonstrate from the other piece. Where did that go? So here is your folded base. You're going to fold that over. You're going to put it within the bag within. And then you're going to take your staple, your stapler, and you're going to staple it the opposite way that you want to see it. So if this is the front, you're going to flip it over and make sure it's all lined up, and you're going to staple this way because the back is not going to get covered. So we want to see the prettiest part of the staple on the back side. And the ugliest can be on the front because you're going to cover that with your stickers. I would have done that. Okay, so we'll just have to figure out another way. Maybe we just tape this onto our bag later on. We have our layer done. Next, we're going to stamp onto this piece and we're going to add it with dimensionals. You can stamp it with any stamp from that kit that will fit in there. Get well soon, hello, just a note. I chose hello because I thought that was appropriate for giving a little treat container. So I stamped hello using the same color that comes with the kit, the Blackberry Bliss. And then before I stuck that down, I took and trimmed down my leaves so that I had just a few little leaves coming out. And you can trim them, as you saw in my first video, in all different kinds of ways. You can trim, you know, in and out and just create a little, you know, I think I actually trimmed it down here so that these extra ones were off and these were still connected. So you have just a little spray of leaves coming out. And then you put your butterflies on top and you get this cute little treat bag that looks like this. So I didn't have really any coordinating candy but my leftover mint Ghirardellis in there. But for the other bag that looks like this, you can see how I did it differently. The full label will fit in that space with a little bit of extra room on each side because I couldn't, well, I could have made it longer by doing that trick in just a different way. But I just decided to put it on the full way. I stamped thank you directly onto the sticker. I stuck this down with some glue dots, but it's also layered onto some leaves there, some vellum leaves. And then another glue dot is holding just a knot of that really, really pretty open weave trim ribbon that's gold. Stuck a little embellishment from the kit in the middle of the O for thank you. And there you go. So those are a couple treat ideas that you can do with the kit. You can make little fun toppers. Where do you get pre-printed photo mats? Linda asks. They are not something that you can get right now. I don't know if that will be made available to anybody, even demonstrators I'm not sure about, but I do know that every time I get a scrapbooking kit, they come in there. And so I just pull them aside and make sure that I continue to use them in samples later on. You could also, if you are a demonstrator, just write directly on, which is what I've been doing for years, write directly onto your layer 4x6 or whatever you want to do there, just so that people know that that is indicating where a photo is going to be placed on your page. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, next we have, I'm going to put this over here. I don't want to lose these, you guys. Hang on, I'm going to shift something. Where did I put those? Oh, here they are. There they are, over there. Okay, so this next idea is actually one that you've seen before a couple kits ago. It's one of those lattice type of cards where you have this look of kind of a garden lattice that vines grow up on and all that stuff. But I wanted the base to not have that little curved bottom because I wanted these sticks here, these little vertical boards, to be flat on the bottom. So what I did is I took my card base and I folded it, and I folded it with the vanilla and white on the inside. So it was all white on the outside. Used my bone folder, gave that a good crease. And then I took my trimmer and I trimmed both of it folded together, so both layers. I trimmed it down to 4 1/8 inches tall so that I'm creating a full base that's flat on that card and not really wasting a lot of the card base. So there's, oops, it's kind of going within. So that's how much I cut off, just 1/8 of an inch, just to give it a flat base. Then I took just the front layer and I trimmed, and I'm looking at scallops only now. Do you see the scallops here on the sides? I'm looking at just the scallops and I'm trimming between the 2 1/2 from each side here. Okay, so I'm cutting off 2 1/2. We already cut off a half earlier. Now we're trimming off 2 1/2. And if you press this right up to the top of your trimmer, these scallops are going to, you know, line up nice and straight. So everything still stays parallel as you cut. Then we're going to cut off another one that is 2 scallops So we're just looking at the scallops, not at any measurements. And we're trimming that off. And then we're trimming off another 2. Sorry, I should have had a bunch of water before I started. Another 2 of them. And then the next one, we're gonna do 1.5 and 1.5. Okay, so 1.5 scallops. We're cutting right through the middle. And 1.5. So we have 4 scallops ending up on top. 2 skinny ones. These are going to get cut to straight, like they're going to get trimmed off on these ends here. And then these are going to be the boards that go horizontal on the card and are lined up like this, okay? So let's now take our 2 straight ones, or our 2 skinnier ones, and we're going to trim off just a little bit on the ends of one side. We're going to fold this down. And I'm trying to think of how I did this. I think what I did is I laid this down where I was going to have it go, and I connected these pieces like that. And you just eyeball where you want it in. I mean, you could measure it too, so we could take and use our grid paper here if we want to be exact. We want to have our scallops going between the 2 3/4 inch mark and the 2 3/4 inch mark, and that will be our center. So here's our center. And then when we add these into these sections, we can do it 2 squares in, so that we're lining up here and here and here and here. You can see that in there, right? Yep. Okay, so keeping all of this still and in place. You could use your temporary adhesive if you have a hard time holding it in place, but I'm just lining up my little base piece here so that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive through here and through here. My seal adhesive is kind of going wacky on me today. Have you guys noticed? Okay, now I can take this piece and I can line that up within that area, that zoned off area. Let's do that with the next piece. 2 little squares in. So I'm visualizing my 2 squares in and going right through the center with my adhesive. And then we're going to lay this down and lay that down. And this one got a little bit curved over here. There we go. So now we have our vertical boards on our lattice. So we just take and trim. If you flip it over, you can see exactly where you need to trim. And then for these pieces, we're going to slide them underneath. And they're going to be filling in the gaps so that you have 1 scallop between everything. So you can take and open this up. Actually, what you could do, I'm trying to think of how I did this, you guys. Maybe I did it on the grid paper with it all opened up. That might have been how I did it. So here's my scallops. Oh yes, you know what? I bet this is how I did it. So I laid these down and I put my adhesive where it needed to go based on my little lines on my grid paper. So you see my grid paper lines here? We'll just bring it up to here so you can see better. So you see how that works? The adhesive is going to go between these little areas here. So we'll just add that adhesive here and here. And again, you could use like glue dots or something, and then you can bring your card back in. You can lay the scallops where they're going to line up with the card. I love grid paper. And then we stick it. So let's do the same thing here. Line it up. So alternates are a really like popular thing to do with kits. Paper pumpkin kits is what we first started with as a Stampin' Up! Company. And then we brought in kits collection kits, and now we have scrapbooking kits. But you will find, if you Google the name of a kit, you're going to find lots of different alternate projects, things that people have created beyond the directions. to give you even more inspiration. That's why I really encourage you that if you've never tried kits before, please do. Even if you're an avid crafter, you're somebody who really gets into layers and details, you can find really, really avid projects done with paper pumpkin kits. So that's how you get that base going. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to add your greenery and your leaf layers. You know, you're going to put those all in place. And I think I actually cut this into tiny bits and put that on. But if you don't want to bother with that, it should fit like that, right? And then you can stamp your hello and you can come up with your card that looks like this. Now, the thing with this type of card is that you don't have a lot of room to write. So they're super pretty and they're super delicate looking, gorgeous, right? Just stunning. I had to make another one, even though I did one like this 2 kits ago. But one thing you could do is you could add a really pretty, not something like maybe the green wouldn't work very well, but you could add another layer within, like a little rectangle layer in there. And then when you open it up, you know that this is the only spot you can write in, right up in here. Okay, but just keep that in mind, is that you're going to have very limited room. You could take and put light pencil lines so that you're writing still in the middle, but you're staying underneath those boards. So you could get really, really clever with your cards if you want to. Last time we were live, I forgot to call out winners from, well, Trisha had names ready to go. She had pulled them already. She was on top of things, but I had forgotten. And so I'm gonna shout those out. I'm gonna grab my list of winners here, and I do wanna share with you those names. Let's pull that up on the computer here. So we're not gonna write the names on the screen here. We don't have them written, but I do want you to know that the lucky winners were Tor Baker 59, oh, that's hard for me to read in that light writing. Tor Baker 5900 and Heidi Moore Holgwen. Those are the Afterlive winners from the last time we did prizes in December. And they each got to pick, or get to pick, from the celebration goodies that I have here. Okay, so we're in the midst of a promotion where you can earn these products for free, but I am giving these to Heidi and to Tor Baker for free if they reach out to me at my email address, and that is stampyourartout@comcast.net. Make sure you put .net and not .com when you're reaching out to me, but reach out to me and we will get you your prize pick. We also had some winners that Trisha drew for the live, and because we were featuring the All-Star video class bundles blog hop, you get to pick a video class bundle or a tutorial or something like that. Okay, so the winners here, make sure we can see all of these. The winners get to pick from any of them, and I'm going to show you where you can find them on my website. So let's just take a little detour here for a minute. Oops. Okay, I'm going to pull this away, and then I will announce the names. Okay, when you are on my website, there we go, at stampyourartout.com, you're going to go to shop. You're going to scroll down to tutorials, logo items, and more. Go to tutorials, and then once you're there, I think it's going, yeah. You're going to be able to choose from 92 different ones. And the winners are, let me grab those names now, pull that back up on my computer. The winners from 2 days ago are Dawn Pomerang and Denise Swenson. So congratulations to you two gals for being the winners for those prizes. So yay, pick any from the past several years of me writing tutorials. Again, my email address is stampyourartout@comcast.net. Now, we don't do prizes on Friday and Saturday lives, but again, if you join me on my future lives, every Wednesday, we draw for prizes. And we have some upcoming lives. Let's see here. We have Wednesday, January 15th, 11 a.m. Wednesday, January 22nd, 11 a.m. We're going to have a another video in there for my channel members on YouTube, my supporter members. So don't forget about January 25th at 10 a.m. supporter members. And then we have a Wednesday, January 29th at 11. And then a bonus for all of you on Friday, January 31st. Back to paper pumpkin kits, by the way. Sorry about that. I had to take that side detour, or I would have forgotten about it completely. Some things that are happening right now. We have a promotion that I just mentioned to you, Celebration, where you can get free products. And it's not just these products. There's lots to choose from. But for every $60 you spend on Stampin' Up! Product, you can pick something from this brochure. None of these have prices in them because they're all earned for free. So you can pick something from there. You can get it with your order. It's so awesome. If you are not a demonstrator, but you have another demonstrator that you shop through, give them love and shop through them. If you do not have a demonstrator, you can shop using my link on my blog, on my website, or within the description of the video. There's a shop online link. It will take you directly to the online store, and you can get, as long as you're an active Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get the dies, you can get refill kits, but then you can purchase, anybody can purchase the cardstocks and the embellishments and the inks and all that fun stuff that I did to create with these. And you can apply these ideas to other products that you own if you don't have this Paper Pumpkin kit. What else do I want to share about that? Oh, and if you are a demonstrator, shop from yourself. One thing that's going on for people who really, really love Stampin' Up! Products is a discount offer. If you want to become a discount shopper, if you want to maybe even sell to other people, but a majority of people are discount shoppers, just so you know, so you would fit right in. If you want to, you can get what's called the starter kit. And in the starter kit special during Celebration, you can opt to have this stamp set and 2 packs of markers for free. Otherwise, if you don't want that, you can just choose an extra $30 in free merchandise to add to your starter kit. Okay, so if you want to get the starter kit, I'm going to take you one more trip over to my website. And we're just going to scroll up to the top here. Join the fun. That's the one you're going to click, and then it says get the starter kit. So you're going to click on that. It will get you right in there, okay? This is the blog post that went live today. You can see it's connected to the video that's happening right now. All the photos of the projects are there in case you want to see them up close again and you don't want to try to go back into the video and scroll. So you can reference everything from my blog for what I just shared today. All of that is in there. It tells you about the upcoming next kit, how to subscribe. Here is the blog hop. It's connected to other people sharing these great ideas. So every month we have other creative demonstrators who like to share their ideas as well using the Paper Pumpkin kits. And you can see we have Tammy White, Linda Collins, Sherry Roth, Elizabeth Price, Nancy and Kayla from Stampin' Bay, Vitran, and Jessica. I always mess up how to say her last name. Anyways, Jessica, my friend Jessica. But we are all hopping today, and you can click on those links. It will take you to their blogs where you can see other amazing ideas that were done using the supplies in this Paper Pumpkin kit. Again, the next kit starts processing tomorrow, so do not wait. You want to get your kit active or your subscription added for the next kit coming up. How are we doing, everybody? We're an hour in, so I should probably let you go. I think that's it. Lots of new stuff is in the online store, so don't forget to shop for all of that. A big thank you to my YouTube channel members. After this live is done, I'm going to transfer the description that's in the YouTube video over to the finished Facebook Live so that those of you that are watching on Facebook can just reference back to that in about 5 minutes after the live is done, and you can click on the links that I referred to earlier. That's it. We covered it all, you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give the thumbs up. Please subscribe to not only my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, but my blog, newsletters, that sort of thing, so that you're always up to date on the latest news and what I share. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. Did I cover it all, you guys? I hope so. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, I don't see any questions scrolling through. I'm trying to scan just to see in case. Thank you, everybody, for your kind comments. And again, well wishes of safety and health to all of those out west and anybody else who's fighting some natural disasters right now. Really scary. Take care, everybody, and bless you all. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye bye.